Hello and welcome back to The Artful Chef. Miss M here. This is my helper, Jara. And Jara is going to help demonstrate to you today how to make your 3D paper mache pumpkin. So what you will need for this project, if you have not already come to the school to pick up supplies, you're going to need a grocery bag, something to stuff it with. So I have stuffed this with shredded paper, but you could use other grocery bags. You could use old clothes that you're going to throw away. Pretty much anything to give this bag some shape. Then you're going to take masking tape. Again, if you pick this up from me at school, this will already be done for you. But you're going to take your tape, and it doesn't have to be masking tape. So any kind of tape that you have on hand at home that you can do this with, you're going to go around your bag so that you can create those curves that you see on a pumpkin when a pumpkin grows naturally. So it will start to look like a pumpkin in just a minute. But if you come pick your stuff up for me at school, then you save yourself a step. So, we have the shape of a pumpkin. Not sure how well you can see that in the camera, but it does kind of look like a pumpkin. Right, Jared? Does it look like a pumpkin?
I guess so.
I guess so.
Weird.
A weird pumpkin? It's okay because it's a 3D pumpkin. So we are trying to avoid pumpkins rotting in my classroom and smelling bad and getting all soft and gooey before we actually present them. So you should have a sketch already of your design for your pumpkin. Remember, our theme is we can and we will for Huntington High School. Go Raiders. And so what I want you to think about is, what do you want to be when you grow up? What is your future goal for your life? So your pumpkin is going to represent your future goal. So when I get to the next step, I might make my pumpkin look like an artist because, you know, that's what I like. So, Jara, what would your future pumpkin look like?
I don't know, a dentist?
A dentist.
A dentist.
Jara wants to be a dentist. Yes. Okay. So, he might have some teeth that he's looking at on his. The idea is to make it represent your future career. So, Jara is going to mix the paste that is going to be our paper mache. This is very easy. You should have flour at home. Pretty much everyone has flour at home.
Yeah.
So you're going to do equal parts flour and water. So Jara is going to mix 2 cups of flour with 2 cups of water in his mixing bowl here. And while Jara is prepping the paste for the paper mache, I'm going to give you your options for how to complete this project. So I have newspaper or an old book. Really pretty much any paper that you have at home can work for this project. I did have some old books donated from the library, so we could rip pages out of the book if you want. Don't stress, it's a book. It was going to go in the trash anyway. I saved it and gave it new life. So you could rip the pages out of this book. You could paper mache those onto your pumpkin, or you could use newspaper. I'm going to show you both so that you see that both can work in this process. So
2 cups of this?
2 cups of flour and 2 cups of water.
You got it.
So I'm going to rip some pages out. And the idea behind this is to tear it in strips. So by tearing it instead of cutting it, you create these rough edges that lay down better when you paper mache. If you cut it with scissors, those straight edges are actually harder to get them to lay down nicely rather than if you just tore the paper. Plus, tearing paper is kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Super fun.
So
I love destroying things.
I want you to tear these book pages into strips. So strips like this, about 2 inches wide, are perfect. So you go ahead and tear the book pages, and I'm going to tear the newspaper.
I just want to tear it.
Tear it up, honey.
I just want to not follow it in order. I just wanted to.
Because you definitely don't want to
it.
read the book, do you?
No, I just want to destroy
You just want to tear it up. Oh, don't put it in here. What are you doing? Hang on, I didn't tell you to put it in there yet.
Oh.
Okay, you're just going to tear it in strips right now. You need to mix that up when we're done.
Oh, I thought we were throwing it in there.
No,
Okay.
we're not throwing it. Well, we will throw it in there later, but we're not throwing it in there
I
now.
knew that, but I thought we were right now. Sorry.
No, so we're just making a pile on the table. Jared's trying to get ahead of the game. And paper actually tears pretty straightly. It's kind of amazing how straight you can tear a piece of paper. But it does have those. It is satisfying, right?
And amazingly destructive.
Destructive. Okay. So I'm gonna let you tear that up, and I'm gonna tear this one so that you can mix that mixture there for the paste. So I have a combination here of newspaper and book pages. And if you read your announcement in Canvas, you would have seen that when you come to pick up your bag that's already done for you, you can choose to get a book from me or some newspaper from me to complete this process. If you don't need these things and you don't need to come pick up this bag, that's fine. But you just still have to turn in the project so you don't get out of it.
There you go.
All right, so go ahead and stir that up. So one thing to think about when you are mixing your paste for your paper mache is you don't want lumps. So you need to mix it really well so you don't get a bunch of lumps in there, because lumps, they don't look really nice on your project when you get them done. So I'm going to let Jera get this all mixed up, and we will be right back to start our paper mache on our pumpkin. All right, so Jera has mixed up all of this dough batter. He said it looks like dough, but it actually should have the consistency of like a pancake batter. So, and Jera doesn't like pancakes. That's why he's making that face. What kid doesn't like pancakes? So you're going to take...
Terrible.
They're terrible. I would bet that some people would disagree with you. So you're going to take your strips of paper and you're going to dip them in the paste. I know it's one that's folded in half. So I'm going to squeegee off all the excess, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to lay it on my bag. So the idea is to coat this entire thing with this mixture of paper and flour water so that you create this nice boundary, this nice paintable surface that you're making on your pumpkin. So Jera and I are going to cover this pumpkin, and we will do a time lapse so that you can see the process. So we have completed covering. It's important to make sure that you cover all of the plastic bag that's underneath. So you may have to layer it a couple of times. It is very messy, but it does wash off. The next thing I want to do is add a stem to the pumpkin. And you honestly, you could probably do this in the beginning before you start layering your pumpkin with paper mache. So I'm taking a toilet paper core, so recycling, making use of our materials, and I'm going to twist it to kind of make it look like one of those gnarly pumpkin stems. You know how pumpkin stems, they kind of look a little, especially when they start to dry, they kind of look a little rough and gnarly. So I'm going to create my pumpkin stem. I'm going to wrap it in tape. Yes, we are. We're going to wrap it with that stuff when I get it all covered up here, and we are going to attach it to the pumpkin. And then we are going to allow this time to dry. So you do have 2 weeks to complete this assignment because of dry time, because this is not something that you can complete in 1 week. So I am very well aware of that. So we're going to shape our stem. And I'm going to lift up right here where we put this down. So Jera, what I want you to do is I want you to start at the base where it's attached, and I want you to just wrap around it, and I'll kind of hold it up so that you can do that.
So start at the bottom like this.
And just wrap it around the stem as you go up. Not difficult at all.
I can do it.
I know you can do it.
Wow. Once you get it turned right, actually, it's super easy.
So, do you need some more papers?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Here you go.
Just don't hit me in the face with that. Like, in the eye.
In the eye?
Yeah, in the eye.
Alright. I'm going to put a little extra at the base here just to make sure it stays secured to the base of the pumpkin, so it doesn't fall off, because that would be a shame to do all that work and it fall off.
That would be very terrible.
Alright. So that looks pretty well covered. What I want you to do is add one more piece across here to hold that onto the pumpkin. Do you need another piece?
Yeah.
Here you go. Just keep it in half. Fold it in half. Yep. And there's actually one more here that we can use. So 2 cups of flour and 2 cups of water were exactly enough to do this whole pumpkin.
Exactly. I thought we
Where did this paper come from? This is not, that wasn't even part of it. All right, so put that across there. That will hold that stem in place so that it doesn't fall off. So when this dries, this should dry hard. It will take probably a good 24 hours. So we're not going to wrap it all the way around here. We're just going to go around the base to secure it at the base. And so the nice thing about this paper when it's wet and sticky is you can kind of tear it easily. And put it to, well, wrapping the stem, you need the long pieces so they can go around. So we're going to put that right there like that. If you have a cookie sheet or some kind of drying rack at home, you can put it over, watch your arms, over a bowl, or actually if it has feet like this one does, you could just lift it up and set it on the table, which it's not going to fit over that bowl, so we're actually going to just sit it on the table because you want to allow this time to dry from both sides. So if it's sitting on the table, it's going to stay wet on the bottom for a lot longer. But if you set it up on something, it can dry from underneath and on top at the same time. So after we have allowed this time to dry, like I said, a good 24 hours to dry, we will come back and we'll talk about how we're going to do the rest of this project. So we have allowed our pumpkins to dry for a little over 24 hours. We did have to flip them over and let the bottom finish drying, even though they were up on a rack, just because it wasn't getting quite the same amount of air as the top part was. We have painted them orange to look like a pumpkin. Now yours don't have to be orange. If it's another color that goes with whatever your design of your pumpkin is, that'll be perfectly fine. So we have gathered a few things. We've got some paint. We've got yarn for hair. We're going to be painting some faces on. We got some paint brushes. Jera wants his to be a dentist. So we're going to do something creative with an old toothbrush and some dental floss. And mine is going to look like an artist, so I have this big paintbrush. And we will be back in a few to show you our final product. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. we are back for our big reveal. So I went a different route with mine. I thought I was going to make it like a normal person to look like an artist, but actually I did Picasso. So this is a Picasso replica with my paintbrush there. So that is my future artist. I want to be a future Picasso. And Jera's dentist. Give us your big reveal, Jera.
My dentist is a psycho. Because I wanted to make it kind of funny.
All right. So, Jera's dentist, you would not want to be in his dentist chair. But those arms are actually made out of toilet paper tubes and straws and masking tape. And I'll post a picture at the end of that process. And then we've got his dental floss and his toothbrush over there. So please, please have fun with this. Get creative. If you have it funny. If you have questions about how to make something or how to give the appearance that it looks like a certain thing, please message me in Canvas. You have my cell phone number. Call me. Let me know what you're thinking or text me, and I will help you as best I can. I look forward to getting your pumpkins in. Remember, these projects do need to be brought to the school because these are going to Pumpkin Shine online, and we want to represent Huntington well. So have fun with your project. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Bye.